Let's see. Okay, we should be all set. All right, so if you're watching this, thank you for tuning in to another Move Your Way partner profile. Today we are going to be interviewing Nate Gerard with Nurture KC. Yay. Um, just a heads up, BikeWalkKC is conducting interviews with partner organizations, and the goal is to highlight the activities, programs, and initiatives that our partner organizations with the Move Your Way campaign are providing support for physical activity and active lifestyles, and how that work is being impacted by the current COVID-19 pandemic, and how our partners are adapting and how they've personally embraced the Move Your Way messaging. So, Nate, happy Tuesday. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let me ask you, can you tell us a little bit about your organization and Nurture KC and your work specifically?
Sure. Yeah. So, Nurture KC, up until about a year ago, it actually used to be called the Mother Child Health Coalition. And that right there kind of tells you a lot of what they're about. So, uh, Nurture KC was a name change to kind of probably be more modern, but encompass a broader group, not just the mother and child, but the community, the fathers, the healthcare, and this and that. And so Nurture KC has a lot of different programs, and that includes Healthy Start, which is really about the mother's prenatal care, especially mothers in need or in some kind of circumstance that makes it so they benefit from the services that Healthy Start has, which I'll share a little bit more about later. So there's the kind of prenatal mother baby aspect of Nurture KC, and then I kind of say it's like prenatal to pre-K, and I work with Safe Kids, Metro KC, and the Mid-America Immunization Coalition, both of which focus on children a little bit after they're born, and safety initiatives and public health initiatives. And so all of those big initiatives that we have are supported by something like Move Your Way. That's, our mothers, pregnant mothers benefit from exercise. Children benefit from exercise.
Sure.
We all do. And if our kind of group collective message is community health, then it definitely works with the stuff that we do.
For
And
sure.
so I don't know. I think, is that enough for that?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've worked with the Mother Child Coalition in the past, and so it's nice
Right.
to know that that work is continuing. And yeah, walking is the best thing I hear moms can do before they have
Yeah,
their babies while
my
they're
wife.
pregnant.
Yeah, my wife was a walking fool. Got one of those the Fitbits and was
Oh
always
yeah,
going for like 10,000 steps or whatever. But uh, that's cool that you work there. It's the work is definitely continuing, and it's also expanding, which adds someone like me who used to be a teacher, and I'm there primarily to work with Safe Kids works with home safety and car safety and bike safety,
hmm
and
I did
some of
car
those other things. Yeah.
seats.
What's that?
I did car seats,
Oh
child
yeah, yeah.
passenger
That's
safety,
probably the least favorite part of the whole thing. But
especially in the summertime, right? Now, how
exactly.
has all of that programming for you all and yourself for sure? How has that changed and transitioned since the stay-at-home order?
So a couple of things that are really cool actually that have happened recently. Yeah, we started working from home, and we certainly have had to adjust to virtual meetings, and our outreach really kind of suffering a little bit. Just it's easier to for me at least, and I don't know how you feel, but I miss the person to person. Um,
Oh yeah,
just kind of feeling the room and the conversation and all that. It's a little bit easier in person than when you're looking at a computer screen, um, but ultimately, so Nurture KC as an organization, we've had to adapt to that virtual way of doing our business. However, Healthy Start, which is the main initiative the Nurture KC has, they've continued to hand out produce and diapers every week to the participants that are in the most need, and partnered with Truman Medical and have had kind of a setup station where those moms can come and get some resources for the week. Um, and so they've continued to do really cool things like that. And then on my end, my outreach has all been kind of over the phone or with Zoom meetings, and it's been tough, but it's also led me to partnerships like this that I wouldn't have immediately thought of necessarily. I've kind of had to think outside the box with who I'm reaching out to and who I'm getting to hopefully be interested in the things that we're doing. And then what I'm finding is that so many of us are interested in working on the same things and kind of have that mutual mission. And we all kind of have our niche group or our audience or our expertise or whatever, but it's all about coming together for a better Kansas City and a better community.
Absolutely.
And then, personal and community health are major aspects of that, and that's kind of what I bring to the table for my position, or I represent that kind of community health, those safety initiatives, especially for young children.
Absolutely. So, right along with exactly what you were saying about the new opportunities and partnerships you've discovered, are there any other opportunities you've come across in the midst of this or in result of this?
Yes. So the two main initiatives that I have that I work on as program lead are Safe Kids Metro Kansas City, and we do a lot of home and neighborhood safety trainings and events, and we're working with the Move Your Way campaign with some helmets, some bike helmets. And then the other organization is the Mid-America Immunization Coalition, and I'm the program lead for that. With both of these, I've tried to kind of expand, I guess, expand the reach and reach out to people like we mentioned, or I mentioned earlier, that I wouldn't have normally thought of. And so I had a great conversation with a rabbi who recently sat in on a vaccine panel. And so, like, talking about that contentious political issue of vaccination and a faith leader and kind of how those came together, and just being able to do those things, have those conversations is really cool. With Safe Kids especially, I'm working on some trainings for some daycare sites and the families, and since I have the background in teaching, I'm able to do some kind of online learning modules for the families. And so that's another way we're adapting to a training that would have happened in person. We're building online and actually have a way of getting it in the mom's hands in their phone and that kind of thing. So we're still working, still fighting through all the weirdness.
Yeah, virtual trainings galore, right?
Lots of webinars.
Yeah, for sure. Now, can you tell us about the bike helmets that you'll be distributing and kind of partnering with the Move Your Way campaign about?
Yeah, so Safe Kids Metro KC is a coalition as a part of the worldwide Safe Kids organization, and they provide car seats. They provide smoke detectors. They provide, I'm not going to think of the name, but it's a resource for a family. If they have prescription medication, they can essentially pour it in the bag and dissolves the medication, so they safely get rid of the prescription medication. So Safe Kids does all of those things. And then for biking, we want to make sure we have kids in our community riding with helmets. And so Safe Kids provides a resource for us to get some bike helmets. And then we look for partners and events for finding heads for the helmets and finding ways to get them on the road.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, with Move Your Way messaging, obviously it speaks to active living, and now we have to do that with social distancing in mind. And certainly it's promoting still the recommended physical activity guidelines. Why do you personally think that that is important to promote?
The guidelines and personal activity, so for that I'll speak, personally, and in friends and family, and also the research shows that exercise, has multiple benefits. Obviously, your physical health, but a big thing is your mood and your regulation and mental health, and so I think that for people that I know, exercise is something just like reading would increase your knowledge of something. Exercise gives you just a better way to handle life stressors, whether or not they're physical or mental. And so I really think that promoting the active, healthy living lifestyle is one of the most important things we can do, because it's a self-care thing. It's a thing that you can still do from 6 feet away from other people and have fun if you're doing it safely. But it's definitely important to the whole person health, or the whole body health.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I love the way you related it to how whatever you may read about is going to strengthen your knowledge of that subject. It's the same way. I like that. Now,
Well, I was just thinking earlier, I saw the Move Your Way 60 minutes a day, or whatever the recommended thing is. As a teacher, I used to say 20 minutes a day, and it's not homework, it's exercise, and it's exercise for your brain. And so similarly with this, it's exercise for your body and your brain, and your soul, to get moving, get the blood pumping.
now, the teacher in you, what would you suggest to kids at home or parents to keep their kids active at home right now?
I'd say structure is really important, but build in within that structure time to play, and time to explore and get outside and get muddy. And I'm thinking specifically of my 2-year-old, and balancing some learning at home and some play. But for all children, I think that's really important. And then with that exercise too, I think especially athletes that are not able to practice with their team right now need to have a really structured regimen for their workout. They probably, hopefully, talking to some coaches or some trainers, but I think that sort of thing really helps. And then motivators and celebrating success. I'm a big fan of celebrating success with donuts, but celebrating success with anything is good.
That's awesome. Now, how have you personally been able to incorporate moving your way?
So I kind of vicariously through my toddler, we have done a lot of walking and exercise, and I've done my own bike riding because really enjoy cycling. But one thing that's really interesting is to think about the take on it of I have to model good habits for my son, and those aren't, watching TV all day, but rather we're going to go on a walk and go check out the construction site across the street and climb on the mud or whatever, and then maybe come back and watch TV. But definitely get that 60 in, or definitely get those things moving, and so definitely through him I've been able to do that. And then personally, my wife and I just take turns getting our workouts in, and I've been able to enjoy some rides that are they're a little bit better because there aren't as many cars on the street.
Oh
but
yeah.
it's pretty vacant out there.
Oh yeah. That is great. I'm sure. I know your toddler keeps you moving all hours of the day, but to get creative and just get outside and utilize, right what's right there in your neighborhood, even if it's a construction site, that's awesome. Well, this has been great. You've given me a lot of insight, so I'm appreciative. Thank you so much for joining us